Well, look at what we have here. Have the chuds finally won? I still don't know what the word chud means, but these people like to use it to get a gotcha moment on those YouTubers, those content creators, those right-wing grifters. But it seems like we were right all along. It seems like all the critics of Ubisoft were telling the truth, and it seems like all the shields that they paid off didn't save their company after all. And now Ubisoft is selling off Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six franchises to the Chinese. Yup, like it was rumored, because this company is garbage and is not sustainable. They are the worst of the worst when it comes to games in this industry. Not only that, they are the greediest of the greediest. Battle passes and microtransactions in single player games. Buggy, busted, unplayable, terrible born games with terrible gameplay and failure after failure after failure after failure. And now you have no choice but to sell out to the Chinese because the quote unquote chuds was right. And we're gonna look at a tweet that's gonna explain everything. But before we get into it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to push this video out in the YouTube algorithm. And here's a tweet from Jeff Keighley. It says, Ubisoft is spinning out its Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six franchises into a new subsidiary backed by Tencent. No word yet on what this means for other Ubisoft franchises or the company's approximately 19,000 employees. Hopefully it means layoffs. Massive layoffs. You have 19,000 people working at your fucking company? Why? How do you have that much people at your company? Your game sucked. Assassin's Creed Shadows has so much bugs, and you delayed the game twice for the reason of removing bugs. At least that's what you claim. But the game came out and it's still buggy and is glitching and lagging all over the place. People are zooming across the whole map, falling through the floor. Your game is a buggy fucking mess, like every game you make. So how do you have so much people, but the game is still bugged? The game still has terrible voice acting.
Resentment can grow quietly without much warning after a storm. Mushrooms can too. Shiitake?
Mushrooms. The smell of dirt, grass, and rain.
The game still has terrible facial animations.
Where? You cut open my father. You left him to suffer, to die in pain.
It's what you and your kind deserve.
The game has terrible parkour mechanics compared to the previous games, and the game is just bloated and boring. What do you have 19,000 people for? Fire at least half of them. You are spending way too much money and still making garbage. And now you're spinning off Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Tom Clancy's into a new company subsidiary backed by Tencent? Does that mean they own the franchises? Those are your main three franchises. You don't do anything else. You have a lot of franchises. A lot of people will love to see Rayman come back. Rayman is great. Are you gonna do that? Are you gonna actually finish Beyond Good and Evil 2? Because that game has been in development hell for how long? At least a decade? A lot of people love Splinter Cell. Are you gonna bring that back? You kind of have to, because you're throwing away your biggest franchises. You're giving it to the Chinese because you are a broke little bitch. If you would have just gave the game as what we want, you wouldn't be in this situation. And everybody's celebrating in the replies of this tweet. Like this one here. It says, but 3 million players in ratio, the richest man in this country with 600,000 likes behind it. Pretty sure those likes were more than actual sales numbers for the game. And everybody's heard about that tweet where Assassin's Creed ratioed Elon Musk. They got a whole bunch of likes and views, and a whole bunch of people in the replies were saying, I'm gonna buy this game now because they just ratioed Elon. They got Elon. They ratioed him on his own website. There were a few tweets where people actually showed themselves downloading the game and buying the game. One of them got a lot of likes on it, but a lot of people were saying that, but it turns out you didn't buy anything, because now this is happening. If everyone who liked the tweet that ratioed Elon bought the game, they would have announced sales numbers by now, because they keep saying players, but they know the actual copy sold is a fucking embarrassment. No amount of gotchas you get on social media is gonna fix your company, and no amount of shitty microtransactions is gonna get you the money to get out of this situation. And that's what this reply is saying here. Hold up, why? I thought Assassin's Creed Shadows was gonna save Ubisoft. You mean the hundreds of microtransactions they crammed into AC Shadows battles didn't save the company, neither did the stunning and brave stuff, so they lied for nothing. Of course, companies are always lying. They always have to make themselves seem bigger than they actually are to improve their investments. They just gotta look good on the stock market. They don't have to do anything good, they just have to convince people to buy their shitty company stock. And they really thought all of those microtransactions and battle passes was gonna save them. It only pissed people off because that does not belong in single player games. Instead of trying to shove microtransactions in people's faces, why don't you stop making games that keep fucking flopping? And that's what this supplier is saying here. How strange. I thought quadruple A Skull and Bones, Star Wars Outlaws, and Assassin's Creed Shadows were financial successes. That's what all the Ubisoft fanboys were telling me, because fanboys are bought and paid for. I don't know why anyone takes anyone seriously if they get an early review copy, because these companies have not given copies to people who are critical of them. They never give copies to anyone who won't suck their meat. That's why anyone who gets an early review copy from these companies can't be trusted. They are fucking whores. They are paid shills. They will never say anything bad about the company because they are afraid that they won't get flown out to the studio, that they won't get exclusive interviews, early gameplay footage, early review copies. They are fucking whores. That's it. These shills are whores. And like I always say when it comes to companies paying off people to say their game is good, instead of paying people to say your game is good, just make a good game and you will make money. That is it. You're already an established company. Assassin's Creed is an established normie brand. All you have to do is just make something good. And you didn't do that. But instead you rather pay people to say your game is good instead of making a game worth the fucking money. But they won't ever learn their lesson, and they haven't learned their lesson. That's why they're selling out to the Chinese. And no amount of shills is gonna make this sound good. They might try to make it sound better. They might try to put some kid gloves on it, but the show's gotta be feeling pretty fucking stupid, because every single time Ubisoft announced the amount of players, you saw the same shells who got paid saying things like, oh, I thought this game was gonna fail. I thought a bunch of YouTubers said this game was gonna flop. I thought the chuds said this game gonna fail. All these chuds hating the game because there's a black person in the main character. First of all, no one said the game was gonna flop. We just said it's not gonna do as well as it should have if they would have just listened to the audience and listened to the fans and gave us a better protagonist. No one said it was gonna be a complete flop. And just boiling down the hate to, oh, it's just a black person in a video game, is fucking retarded and low IQ and disingenuous. But it seems like the critics were right all along. Now Ubisoft is selling out to the Chinese. I wonder what this is gonna do to those 3 franchises that they are selling off. Is it gonna be base? Is it gonna be sexy? Because the Chinese knows what gamers want. Gamers want beautiful women, great art styles, great gameplay. And the Chinese is taking over the gaming space, and I'm all for it. They had the biggest game of the year last year with Black Myth Wukong, and now there's an upcoming Chinese game called Tales of Annihilation that got a lot of people excited because it has a sexy protagonist. So I'm all for the Chinese taking over the AAA gaming space, because the West is trash. Western AAA gaming is dying. It's falling apart. They don't know what gamers want anymore, and they rather push their disgusting homosexuality in their games rather than making a fun game. So oh well for Ubisoft, I guess. All we have to do is wait and see how this Tencent acquisition of these franchises will affect their company. So I don't have much else to say. I don't want to keep repeating myself. So Ubisoft, go fuck yourself.